let's get painting. So today I'll be doing a tutorial on how to paint watercolor roses. So these are the brushes I'm gonna use. A number 5 Brusco round brush. It's just a round brush, not Brusco. I might not use this, I don't even know why I showed that one. So I'll use this guy. And I'm using these paints, are just watercolor cakes. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm gonna take this crimson. Okay, let's get straight to the point. Painting roses with watercolor is very easy. All you've got to do is make circular motions like this. Let me show you. So first you've got to just make a tiny one, a C, like the alphabet C. Just a small curve. You don't need to be like perfect about it or anything. Just got to move your hand. So you'll just do that. So first you've got to practice the movements. Just to make that movement. So to get the point at the starting part, you put light pressure like that, and then you press the body of your brush down and lift up. So first you put very light pressure and then press down and again light pressure. Okay, let's do the curves. So put light pressure, press down, and there you go. Okay, so let's continue with this. Put very light pressure, not very, but light pressure, press down, and like that. So all I'm gonna do is do that. So when I paint roses, I always make my movements very wavy, like like that. I don't want it to be perfect like that. I make them very squiggly. I don't know. So wait, I'll paint one and show you. Just go with the movement. Like that. This doesn't look like how I usually do it, but for the sake of this video. Okay, I'll do another one. Okay, so I forgot to mention, when you're starting from the midpoint of the petals, you've got to use very dark pigment. So you put more paint and less water, like that. And as you progress toward the outer petals, you get more lighter. So I just put a little water in my pigment. And there you see it's much lighter. Like that. And sometimes I tend to join these two petals together. Oops. Like that. Just like that. And you do the same thing again. Put more water in there. So before, a mistake I made when I started to paint roses is, instead of 3 petals, like 1, 2, and 3, I used to put only 2, and it used to look like very, I don't know, robotic. Wait, I'll show you. So it's like that, and then just 2 petals. I used to do that, so don't do it. It won't look very nice. I mean, see how that looks? See, is that even looking good? So I used to do this a lot. And then later I used to see other artists and how they used to paint. I was like, why are my roses turning out so awkward? Okay, so now that we'll practice, so you can just do like that and that. Okay, another way you can do the midpoint. It won't really look like a rose, but it's a flower. So you can just put dots in the middle to begin with, and then you can slowly progress towards the petals, like that. I think this is like more of a ranunculus, but if you're having trouble with the roses, you can also try this. So this, you're not really pressing down on the body of the brush, you're just making that curve. You can also do that, just like that. So whenever you paint with watercolor, you'll see these, like, you know, darker areas and then lighter. Some people, they go back and fix it, like, wait, I'll show you. They'll put water in there and then try to make it all even. So it won't, don't do that, because watercolor, it looks naturally good, like the way it is. So leave it like that. It's gonna have a very nice look to it, and you'll feel very proud of yourself for your painting. Okay, let's mix another color here. Just gonna mix a bit of scarlet to get a little more orangey look. There we go, looks more peach. Okay, so let's try this one more time, because that doesn't look very good. Okay, so put just put a couple of dots, and then you start with your petals, like that. And then you slowly add more water to your paint, like that. You get these nice petals. Okay, so some artists, what they do is they add, as they progress toward the outer petal, they add lots of water that you can barely even see the outermost petal. So let's try that, because I don't tend to do that in my paintings a lot. I just like want all the petals to be seen. So what they do is like that. They make the outer ones very, very light. This is not as light. I think as light as, wait, not even that light. Like that. Even you can try this. So you see, even that has a very loose effect. Actually, I think I like how they do this, because it has this loose and calming effect about it, like that. Hey, why don't we try that for the roses? Okay, I'm gonna be using purple now. I'll add a little bit of ultramarine blue to my crimson. Okay, so I made a more of saturated purples, and it's leaning more towards the red and not a blue, so it's like that color. Okay, so make the innermost part darker, and then as you progress outward, you make it lighter. So just mess around, don't worry about being perfect. Just a little more water. Look at that. I see over here, you can see that I added a lot of water, and I'm touching some of the petals together. Okay, now I'm gonna add a lot of water. You can see that I'm washing my brush here, and you can't even see that. I'll just add a bit more pigment. Then I'm just going to make these somewhat petal shapes. Hey, I actually like that. That's so beautiful. You can see how that looks compared to this robotic shape here. So yeah. Maybe now we'll go to the leaf part. Leaves. I'll use a bit of sap green. So put water in there. So how I usually tend to make leaves is the same method of that. You just got to put light pressure and then slowly put more pressure in it, and there you go, a leaf. Let me make that a little darker so that you can see it. Like that. There are many ways to make leaves, but it's your choice. I'll show you a couple of ways. So you can do the one which I did with the roses. You can put pressure and make the leaf. And one more way is the same method, but you kind of leave a gap in the middle. See the white part there? Wait, let me do that again. Just light pressure and then slowly press your brush. Then come back there, again press your brush, and there you go, a leaf. Now let's paint in the leaves for the roses. I'm just gonna add a bit of viridian hue because I like turquoise a lot. So I'm just gonna add a bit of that, put more water, and I'm gonna make these leaves first. So just got to put light pressure and then press it down, put maybe a bit more water, then like that. See? And what you can do with your leaves is you can put a bit of darker pigment like that. You can just do that. You can even do that for your roses, in fact. I'll do that and show that to you. Just gonna take some of my paint there. See how beautiful that looks? Just gotta play around with it. Okay, I'll try another one. Okay, so now I'm going to add a bit of black into my green to give it a little bit more muted look. Actually not look, I'm just gonna mute the color a bit. Okay, so let's see how that looks. See how it's a bit more muted. Here it's very saturated, as you can see. I like this color a bit more. So if you want to do that, you just mix a bit of black or gray in your color. And if you're mixing it with gray, I don't add white in it. Wait, I'll show you what happens if you add white. It'll have this more minty kind of look. Hey, I actually like that as well. But I think for your painting to be more cohesive, it's better if you don't add white. And well, if you want to, you can, but I don't do that. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna add a bit more black. Okay. So let's do that here, like that. Whoa, that's way too light. Just a bit more green. There we go. Okay, let's just practice our roses just one more time. Now I'll add a little bit more ultramarine to my purple to give it a, gonna make it lean more towards the cool side with a little more blue. Okay, so let's review. So first you make small curved shapes in the middle, like that. It doesn't really have to be a curve, as you can see how mine turned out. So like that. And then add a bit more water and go like that. So in the middle petal part, what was I saying? So in the middle part of the rose, you can make more like thinner layers, thinner petals. Like as you progress outward, you can make the petals more larger, like so you can see how I did small ones and then I went more bigger. And let's continue with this piece right here. So I'll add just a bit more. So as you can see, I don't make like one big stroke. I kind of do like lots of strokes in one petal. I tend to do that a lot because I like my florals to be very loose. It gives you like a peaceful, calming look to it. I just love how that turns out. So now I'm gonna wash my brush out, just get some water on my brush. Just gonna add those final touches to the paint. Oh, I love that. So I'm done for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!